In 1871, a German explorer named Karl Mosch stumbled upon a breathtaking sight in the heart of southern Africa. He saw massive, expertly crafted stone structures, towering walls, and elegant conical towers, forming a city unlike anything he had ever imagined finding on the continent. The architecture was so complex, so sophisticated, that he simply refused to believe that native Africans could have built it. In his reports, he confidently declared that it must be the work of ancient Phoenicians, or perhaps even the legendary people of King Solomon, who had journeyed south to build a replica of the Queen of Sheba's palace. He was spectacularly, fundamentally wrong. What Mosch had found was Great Zimbabwe, the largest and most magnificent ancient structure in all of sub-Saharan Africa. This was not a lost city built by foreign invaders. It was a masterpiece of indigenous African ingenuity. The capital of a powerful and wealthy kingdom constructed by the ancestors of the local Shona people between the 11th and 15th centuries. This is the story of a civilization so advanced that for a century, European colonizers tried to erase it from history. Simply because its existence shattered their prejudiced views of Africa. Imagine a sprawling city covering nearly 1,800 acres, dominated by stone walls that soar over 32 feet into the sky and stretch up to 20 feet thick. Now imagine that these colossal structures were built entirely without a single drop of mortar to hold them together. This is the genius of Great Zimbabwe. The builders used a technique known as dry stone walling, where they precisely cut and shaped massive granite blocks to fit together perfectly. The sheer weight and friction of the stones, combined with extraordinary engineering skill, have held these walls firm for nearly 1,000 years. This was not a primitive effort. It was a testament to mathematical precision and a deep understanding of physics and materials. The city is composed of three main architectural groups: the Hill Complex, the Valley Complex, and the most famous of all, the Great Enclosure. The Hill Complex, perched atop a granite dome, is believed to be the oldest part of the city, likely serving as the spiritual and royal center. Its winding passages and enclosures are integrated with the natural rock formations, creating a fortress that commands a view of the entire valley. The Valley Complex contains a series of compounds where the majority of the city's residents lived, a bustling urban center filled with homes and workshops. But it is the Great Enclosure that truly captures the imagination. Its massive elliptical outer wall is over 800 feet in circumference, curving seamless work of art that represents the pinnacle of Shona masonry. Inside this enclosure stands the enigmatic conical tower, a solid stone structure 33 feet high and 18 feet in diameter. Its purpose remains a mystery, with theories ranging from a royal granary symbolizing wealth and power, to a phallic symbol representing the king's virility, to an astronomical observatory. Whatever its function, its perfect form and flawless construction are undeniable. For over a century, the truth of Great Zimbabwe was buried under a mountain of colonial propaganda and racist denial. When Mosch's discovery became known, it posed a serious problem for the ideology of European colonial expansion, which was predicated on the idea of African inferiority. The existence of such a sophisticated, homegrown African civilization directly contradicted the narrative that Europeans were bringing civilization to a dark continent. So, a concerted effort was made to attribute its construction to anyone but Africans. This historical revisionism became state policy. When Cecil Rhodes' British South Africa Company colonized the territory in the 1890s, naming it Rhodesia after himself, the denial of Great Zimbabwe's African origins became a cornerstone of the new government's ideology. They promoted the idea that it was built by Phoenicians, Arabs, or other non-African peoples. The first official archaeologist appointed to investigate the site was a British journalist named Richard Hall. Instead of carefully excavating, Hall acted more like a treasure hunter, obsessed with finding evidence of foreign builders. In his destructive quest, he removed and discarded up to 12 feet of archaeological deposits from the great enclosure layers that contained the stratified history and priceless artifacts of the city's actual inhabitants. His actions were a catastrophic loss to history, a deliberate erasure of African heritage. Under the Rhodesian government, this lie was institutionalized. School children were taught that Great Zimbabwe was built by mysterious foreigners. The official guidebooks and museum displays all pushed the same narrative. Anyone who dared to suggest that the Shona people had built the city was ridiculed, silenced, or even professionally ruined. Archaeologists like David Randall Meekover and Gertrude Catan Thompson, who conducted professional excavations in the early 20th century and concluded definitively the site was of African origin, were largely ignored by the colonial authorities. But truth, like the granite walls of Great Zimbabwe, is resilient. The evidence was overwhelming and undeniable. The architectural style had clear precedents in smaller local Shona settlements. The artifacts found in the undisturbed layers were distinctly African. And most importantly, the oral histories of the Shona people themselves spoke of a great kingdom and its stone city. Despite the decades of suppression, the truth could not be contained forever. The real story is far more impressive than any tale of foreign builders. Great Zimbabwe was the capital of a vast and powerful trading kingdom that flourished for over 300 years. At its peak in the 14th century, the city was home to an estimated 18,000 people, making it one of the largest cities in the world at the time. Its power and wealth were built on a strategic combination of cattle farming and, most crucially, long-distance trade. The kingdom controlled the gold mines of the interior plateau and the lucrative ivory trade, routes that led to the Indian Ocean coast. From coastal ports like Sofala in modern-day Mozambique, Shona merchants traded their precious goods with a network that stretched across the globe. The archaeological record tells a story of a cosmopolitan and connected society. Digs have unearthed Chinese Celadon ceramics from the Ming dynasty, shimmering Arabian glass, and intricately decorated Persian pottery. These were not just trinkets. They were symbols of a kingdom that was a major player in the medieval world economy. A hub of commerce and culture, connecting Africa with Asia and the Middle East. The craftsmanship of the builders was as remarkable as their economic power. They didn't just build walls. They created art. The builders developed a clever technique to quarry the granite. They would heat the rock with large fires, then rapidly cool it with water, causing the stone to crack along natural fissures. From there, they would painstakingly shape the blocks into uniform, rectangular courses. They added decorative flair, with some walls featuring an elegant chevron pattern running along the top. Perched atop the walls of the hill complex, archaeologists found a series of 8 magnificent soapstone birds. These stylized carvings, blending human and avian features, are believed to have been emblems of royalty, each one representing a different king. The Zimbabwe bird is now the national symbol of the modern nation of Zimbabwe, a powerful link to this glorious past. So why did this mighty kingdom decline? Around 1450 CE, the city began to be abandoned. The reasons are likely a combination of factors. After centuries of intensive settlement, the surrounding land may have become overgrazed, and the forests depleted of wood for fuel and construction. There is also evidence of a shift in climate, with a period of drought making agriculture more difficult. Simultaneously, the center of the regional gold trade began to shift northward, diminishing Great Zimbabwe's economic dominance. The kingdom's power waned, and its people gradually dispersed. Moving on to establish new centers like Kami and Danimome, the great stone city slowly fell silent, its walls left to the sun and the wind. Today, Great Zimbabwe stands as a proud UNESCO World Heritage Site and the most important national symbol of the country that bears its name. Its rediscovery was not just an archaeological one, but a cultural and political one. During the struggle for independence from Rhodesian colonial rule, the ruins became a powerful symbol of national identity and pre-colonial African achievement. Naming the new nation Zimbabwe, a Shona word meaning houses of stone, was a profound act of reclaiming history. It was a declaration that the nation's identity was rooted not in the colonial past, but in the glory of its own ancestral heritage. Great Zimbabwe proves that Africa has always been a continent of great and advanced civilizations. With its own history of innovation, empire, and global connection, the truth is simple. Africans built Great Zimbabwe. Africans created a thriving kingdom. Africans traded with the world. Africans built monuments that have lasted for centuries, showcasing incredible resilience and creativity. Want more amazing stories? Subscribe for new videos 3 times a week. Next, let's dive into another amazing African achievement that made a global impact.